Okay, in this video we use the add new and we load the last files by simply selecting them and using Control Shift to or Control Select to select them all. And there we go, we've got them all selected and we load them in like so, and it comes back with this menu. And if we click on the right click on the destination, we can choose whether it's new, merge to an existing, or merge to a new. In this case we're going to load them all as new files because they're new, and let them all load in. Once they're loaded in order to see them we have to use the refresh button, and there we have the list of the wells in there. To load the formation tops we just go back to add new and we go to the directory after we select them all, and we choose the directory that it came from, and we have that here, and we choose the file that's got all the formation tops in as a CSV file. Doesn't matter what order things are in, because we can actually select which column is which in the file, and we can choose a start and end if there's only a small part of the file that we want to hit load. And then we load them in, and it will come back and it will tell us how many it's matched in that file with the wells that we've got in our database. And if they're not matched, we can actually choose them and rematch them. And once they're loaded in, we have all the formation tops in there. We will head to the map view now and show you how to select a single well from the map view. Obviously you can click on a well in this view and go into it, but in the map view you just right click on a well and you can select it and open it up, and it will open up and give you the default plot that you've set up in the preferences. The next thing we will do is just switch on the formation tops so that you can actually see them. You can have the formation tops switched on by default. If you save this plot file and use it, it's the one that you're going to open. Once we've done this, the next thing that we're going to do is show you how to do the petrophysical evaluation. Before that, we're going to open a petrophysical template, and the one that we're going to use is one that's provided with LogScope called Advanced Log Analysis. When we open this plot view up, it will have all of the petrophysical evaluation curves on the right hand side of the plot. So we just go and we open that plot up, and then we sort of see the curves displayed with the advanced log analysis curves on the far right. We will do some tidying up now. We'll change the scale to 1:500, and we'll just get ourselves positioned over the yellow drum formation in this well so that we can show you the next step with the petrophysical evaluation. This is a convenient moment to tell you that the petrophysical evaluation is stored in a group called LA, which you can see using the data view, and you can select that particular group. The other thing we're going to do with the log analysis is I've already got the parameters for this interpretation, and I can use a parameter store that is geographically sensitive. So here I'm looking at the log analysis logs and the parameters, and I go to the parameters and I load the parameters from an existing file called Bliner. So I just type load. It asks which zones I want to load, and then I just go through and find the Bliner parameter store, and then I load that, and it matches up the formations, and I can hit OK. There's a reapply button that allows you to choose other formations to load in, but as I said, it is geographically sensitive. Once the processing is finished and is processing the whole well and all the zones, you will see the results in the tracks, and they will populate as soon as it finishes at the end, and it will populate this fairly rapidly. And once it's done, we can then move on to looking at the data and talking about the multi-well log evaluation. The interpretation parameters, whilst they can be changed in a table here, LogScope is designed primarily to be used as a crossplot interpretation package. And if we go to the crossplots, we can then go to the Petrophysical log analysis template here, and then for each of the zones you can modify those at the top of the screen. You can also change the parameter plot by the side to be parameters or to be the actual plot, and you can choose plots that we've created, or you can create your own using the global template in the plot design. Once you've gone to the neutron density plot, which is the first plot, you can scroll through the plots or the formations by simply selecting them, and the parameters can be changed by moving the points as they appear on the plot. I'll just give you an example of how that's done. You can also create facies zones or select points as bad hole by opening the region, and you can choose the information from the side plot or from the crossplot itself, and we'll just show that next. So here we go, we're going to choose a couple of zones from the side plot. So here we draw in the zone at the top and the points get highlighted on the crossplot, and you can see that there. We can then highlight a set of points on the crossplot and also do the same thing there. And when we draw the zone around there, it will show up on the side plot. And we can add it, we can interactively choose both. So if we wanted to choose a zone further down, we can do that by just simply choosing that zone and drawing the zone up. And as long as you keep the mouse button pressed down with your finger, you can move it up and down as you wish. By selecting the region button again, we can actually tell it that these points are going to be either a region flag of bad hole, region, or facies. Facies has a special meaning in processing, which we'll discuss in another video. We can do the processing at the side of the plot if we change it back to the textural parameter, and you can process individual zones or multiple zones there. And once this is done, you can then exit and we'll get ready to do the multi-well. When doing the multi-well, you can select the wells from the map view, or you can select them from the list view. We're going to do the map view, and you just hold the mouse button down, left mouse button that is, or use your finger on the screen and just draw a polygon around or a circle around the wells that you want to use. We're not going to use the project view. We're going to use the parameter store. The project can be created after you've done the first log analysis, multi-well log analysis, and you can save that and you can reload a project exactly where you've left it. And here we have the information. In the view on the left hand side you have the wells listed. Then in the next view you have the crossplots, and you can treat them the same way as you do an individual log analysis. You can adjust the points, and in the window down in the left hand corner the parameters are displayed. In the bottom below the crossplot is the histogram, which we'll talk about in a minute. When you have a well in focus, it's highlighted in purple. The histogram view will show any of the logs that are input and the associated output logs in the histogram, and we're showing the histogram there. You can vary the width of the histogram and the values used. This is the gamma ray, and we can also use the normalization function. We can normalize by zone. We can normalize all the zones in one, and we can use median or P10, P90, and we use P10, P90. And then we do the petrophysical evaluation, and we do all the zones, and we do the petrophysical evaluation just by hitting the proceed button. And that's really all there is to the multi-well petrophysical evaluation.